I feel like super honored that Mama has decided to follow Fez.
When I first heard that they were going to sign Phil Rivers, I was like, wow, Riley Leonard must feel some type of way. Like, off the college football portion of the podcast with yet another Michigan University scandal.
Xabi Alonso, yeah, he is on the hot seat. I think they've only won 2 out of their last 8 in all competitions.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the From the Stands podcast. Here we are back for episode number 88 on this December 10th, 2025, almost 2026, Fezzy boy. We got another jam-packed episode for you guys. Fezzy boy, tell the people what we got coming up.
What we got coming up, obviously a huge week of the NFL. Phillip Rivers is back after Daniel Jones goes down with a
44 years old.
Does that make him the oldest quarterback in the league now?
Oh,
44?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Might be
the first
grandpa to ever suit up.
That's crazy. That's wild. He has like so many kids. But we're going to touch on some NFL and look ahead to the NFL week coming up. Then we're going to talk college football playoffs and all the different controversy going on there. And speaking of controversy, we have another Michigan scandal dropping today, so we'll hit on that. And then we'll kick it over the pond and talk Premier League, obviously Serie A as well, Champions League, and then we will get out of here. But first, what is new with us, Sam? You got a little Christmas party at work, good little haul in the White Elephant, making moves.
Yeah, for sure. We had a nice Christmas party yesterday, I guess. Went to a really, really nice place called the Cook Station.
I've heard of that.
Professional chef made food for us and everything.
Dang.
I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you,
corporate life,
the best food I've probably ever tasted.
What'd you have? Like,
at least in America. So we had like these like Italian, I think they're called like ancini balls or something like that. They're like
that
fried.
Already sounds good.
It's like rice and like fried, and also had some like sides of like mashed potatoes and a couple other things. We had steak, which was like just absolutely incredible.
Dang.
There was like another side that I'm missing there, and then we had like gingerbread, creme brulee at the end. Yeah. So that was amazing, bro.
Goodness. Cook Station.
I mean, it was so good, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. So highly recommend if you guys want to go and have a little, date night or something. It'd be a perfect spot for that. So
there you go.
It was incredible food. The chef was super chill, funny guy. Like nice. he was great. So we had a little trivia as well, like food trivia. I was not good at it. I only got like half the questions right, but it was still a good time. So
nice. That's awesome.
It was great. Had a little white elephant at the end as well, or before I even went there. And Fez is a lot more excited about my gift than I am, I feel like.
Dude,
but
it was legendary, bro.
Really cool. Like, so originally the way I got it was because my original gift that I had gotten was like this super cool, like retro speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So it looked like one of those old like speakers. But the thing was, like 3 days before, Joy and I were at a different party and we got the exact same gift. So we already had one at home, so I was like, I'm gonna need to like trade this out or something. So I made a deal with one of my buddies there, and he gave me this really cool. It's technically a pen holder, but it's like a golf bag and has golf pens in there.
Yeah.
But it's super cool. So like a little towel as well, a couple golf balls, and a little bag for the balls and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good
awesome.
Gift. So
yeah, you
got a wheel and deal sometimes.
Yeah, you texted me and I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, especially the little golf bag. I was like, that's dope. And obviously, like you said, I'm a little more excited about what you got than you might be, but I was just like, I ain't getting that crap at White Elephant. I'm always the one ended up with the pickle jar or like the toilet paper at a White Elephant party. Like, obviously, this is a little more upscale than what I'm used to, but I'm always ended up with the gag gifts. Nothing actually like. I'm pretty sure I got underwear one year at my family White Elephant. I'm just like, Like, what are we doing with
Yeah.
this? But
I'm all about those Christmas White Elephant games though. I think they're a ton of fun.
yeah,
Even though
yeah, they
sometimes
are.
you get stuck with the bad gift, but it's
You
okay.
do, but it's all about the game. It's not really about the gift,
Yeah.
obviously. But yeah, that's dope. Awesome. Sounds like a good week for you. I didn't have much happen other than last night. Super wild, crazy. Like it's not that crazy of a story, but I was just like, what? Like I was
What?
just, I was like, what's going on? Anyways, fire up the old Instagram last night, the Instagram machine, and I hop on. I see I have a new follower. I was like, oh, this is cool, new follower, always great, good to take it. Obviously, we wish it would be on the podcast follow, but anyways, I digress. Check it out, and I see Lynn Sehesta. I was like, oh, someone related to Sam. I was like, this is kind of wild. Look at the profile picture. It's freaking Sam's mom. I was just like, I texted Sam immediately. I was like, dude, Mama Sehested is following Fez. And you were just like, what? And
Yeah,
then we were
'cause
talking, before the podcast started. You're like, she literally only follows eight people. So I'm
yeah.
like, I feel like super honored that Mama Sehested decided to follow Fez
Yeah,
on
next time I
Instagram.
talk to her, I'm definitely gonna have to figure out what went down there. Cause like part of the reason I was surprised last night when you texted me, I was like, I know her Instagram is like a barren wasteland. So I don't know. I know she ain't following that many people.
Yeah.
And like I hopped on with you tonight and I literally checked and it was like my uncle, like my immediate a couple people in my immediate family, and then you and
Yeah.
Bentley's in there or something.
And
But
Bentley.
I was like, that's super random. So funny. But
Dude, so funny. I joked
yeah.
that it was like, because I met her at your wedding 4 years ago
Oh,
now.
okay. So you see, you have met her. I
Yeah, I
kind of
have
forgot
met
about
her.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I met her at your wedding. Technically before. I didn't actually talk to her at your wedding. That was a busy day, but I have met her, so she was probably just like, "Oh, it's
Yeah, she might
Sam's
have
brown
remembered you.
friend or whatever." And I was just like,
That's
you
probably what
know,
she thought.
yeah, definitely what was going through her brain as she followed me. But anyways, that was my excitement for the week, I guess, getting a follow from Sam's mom. But anyways, we got a jam-packed episode for you guys. Like I ran down earlier, we're gonna get into the good stuff here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that.
Starting off the pod with a little NFL talk as we usually do. Got several games to recap here. Starting off with my Cowboys. I was coming to this game with a lot of excitement, a lot of momentum, coming off of several games where we were winning.
Tough one.
Wouldn't say we were in the thick of the playoff hunt, but definitely had some good chances if we were to win out and get a little bit of help from the teams above us, mainly the Eagles. But unfortunately, we do drop this game to the Lions in
Wow, wow.
pretty heartbreaking fashion there, 44-30, a nice 2-touchdown spread there. Um, Really struggled basically from the beginning, struggled to stop the Lions offense, a little bit of a regression from our defense, which has been so consistent these last couple weeks or several weeks basically since the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Offense wasn't terrible. Obviously, we put up 30 points.
Yeah.
Dak did throw 2 interceptions, not really his fault either one, but unfortunately, we just weren't able to keep up with the Lions offense. CeeDee Lamb had a big game before he went out with a concussion after hitting his head in the end zone, trying to
Yeah,
haul
that
in
was
a catch. That
nasty.
one's a little rough. George Pickens was held to under 40 yards for the first time seemingly in forever. So not a
Mm.
great showing from him. And yeah, like I said, we just couldn't keep up with the Lions' high-flying offense in this game. Very, very unfortunate because, like I said, we had all the momentum coming into this game, trying to catch the Lions on a little bit of a slide here, but not to be as the Lions come out with the dub.
Yeah, that was a tough game for your defense. Kind of regressed, like you said, to the defense that we saw at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I think the Lions defense stepped up. That was kind of a point of emphasis for their season. They were kind of struggling holding teams. I mean, you guys still dropped 30 on them, like so it wasn't anything crazy. Obviously, the 2 interceptions off of Dak, kind of if you're turning the ball over and losing that battle, you're not gonna have a good game. But I
Yeah.
mean, still,
Well,
your offense had decent numbers, just really couldn't stop the Lions offense was kind of the tail of the game at the end of the day.
yeah, honestly, when we hit on that 40 plus yard touchdown there, I think it was at the
Yeah.
end of the first half or somewhere around there. I was like, bro, we're in this. Like early third, maybe. I was like, bro, we're in this. We're gonna come back. Like I was super, super excited after that. But Yeah, like I said before, like you were saying as well, just couldn't stop the pretty consistent offense of the Lions, excuse me, in this one.
Yeah.
Jared Goff putting up a pretty good day. Jared Goff, like he frustrates me when I watch him because he just kind of like dinks and dunks
Yeah.
and still ends up with over 300 yards because Jameer Gibbs and like Jamison Williams and all those boys, like their
Yeah.
yards after catch
Are
metrics are
crazy,
just insane.
dude.
So big props to them being able to get it done, and that's a huge win for the Lions. It's a must win for them because they're on the outside looking in, as well.
Mhm.
And they get their record to 8-5 to improve their chances of going to the playoffs. Still need help from the teams above them as well, and they've got a loaded division, but we'll see if
Yeah,
they're able to
definitely.
pull it off. So.
Yeah,
Moving
it's tough.
on to one of the big headliners of the Sunday slate, as far as starting quarterbacks go,
Woo.
Bills Bengals. Good old Joey B coming back the last couple weeks from his turf toe that haven't had him sidelined for
Turf
most of the
toe.
year. Playing a Bills team that has kind of been a little bit up and down this year. Still have a really solid record in division and sitting at coming into the game at 8-4, now sitting at 9-4 because they win this one 39-34. Bengals look like they were in control. Joey Burrow having a really solid day throwing the ball, and then all of a sudden he throws his two interceptions on back-to-back drives
Yeah.
there. One of
One of
them
them
was a
was
pick
wild.
six. Absolutely wild. They got returned for a touchdown, and then on the next drive throwing another pick. Both late in the second half there, and that was kind of the end of it there for the Bills. For the Bengals, I mean, as the Bills get another dub here to improve their record to 9-4.
Absolutely. Big win by the Buffalo Bills. Definitely helped my Steelers out for sure, kind of keeping the Bengals tucked down there in
Yeah,
third in
four
the
and
division.
nine. Okay.
Yeah, just keeping them tucked down there. But no, it was a huge day for the Steelers. Obviously, this is huge for our division rivals to obviously not win. Even though they're, I mean, our division is still kind of up for grabs, but again, we'll touch on the Steelers a little bit. Josh Allen obviously putting the cape on in the snow, playing super well. Dawson
Love
Knox had a
that.
huge game, kind of his best game
Yeah.
in the NFL so far. James Cook had another good day. But what was Joe Burrow doing on that one? Like the edge rusher kind of like cut the corner and he like tried to like shovel pass it over him and like
Yeah.
basically just threw it to him and that was the pick six. Like
Well,
what?
he tried to lob it over him and didn't get nearly enough air.
No.
So it just looked like he tossed the ball right to him. And then he
Hmm.
got like disintegrated into the ground there by that stiff arm.
Yeah.
And the guy went all the way. I thought it was pretty impressive the breakaway speed there because he had Jamar Chase right on his heels.
Yeah.
And he was still pulling away there. So that was pretty impressive. Like you said, in the snow as well. So yeah, just a really fun game to watch and Josh Allen putting on a clinic. Um Absolutely incredible performance from him when they really needed it. No turnovers on the day, which was really important.
Yeah.
And yeah, just a really impressive victory from them. It's kind of wild that people still kind of thought the Bengals were in it because I mean they would be at 5-8 if they won this game, which would be kind of right in the thick of it with you guys there at 6-6, 7-6, whatever it was. So chance for a late push there, but I think at 4-9, that's kind of that
Yeah.
would be the end of that with only 4 games remaining. So
Yeah. That was huge for the Bill. That was huge for the Bills too, because like I mean we'll touch on it when we do the previews, but Bills and Pats this coming weekend for the
yeah,
like the division. If the Bills dropped this game, they would have been obviously not a divisional game, but still you don't want to drop any because they're in the wild card right now, right?
the
I,
Bills.
yeah, the Bills
Yes,
are
yeah,
currently in the wild card, so like
yeah.
not that they're in like a shady spot, but they definitely don't need to be dropping any games, especially to the likes of the Bengals, anyways.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Bengals just gotta. I mean, they have to commit basically every. I would just literally draft all defense and all offensive linemen. Like you're
You have
committed
to.
so much money to the skill players and to Joe Burrow that like you know your defense is so terrible and has been for like 5 years now. Like they've got to get it figured out. So,
Yeah,
um, but yeah, I guess we'll see where the Bengals go from here. Definitely not looking like they're. I don't think they're mathematically out of it, but they basically are out of it. So,
basically, yeah.
uh,
Emotionally and Yeah, emotionally they're gone. It's
Exactly.
done.
Yeah. Next game we'll touch on is Steelers Ravens.
Let's go.
Speaking of your division there, great
Huge.
matchup here with Aaron Rodgers rolling back the years, which we love to see. I texted
Discount
you.
double check Aaron Rodgers. Let's freaking
Yeah,
go.
after that rushing touchdown, where he was holding the ball out and doing the discount double check subtly after, I was like, bro, we're back. We're back in 2015. Life is good.
Live is
So
good.
love to see that. And your Steelers get the dub, which I don't think many people had you guys getting that
No.
dub. So very,
No.
very impressive. And more struggles from Lamar. But ultimately, DK Metcalf coming up huge, hauling in almost 150 yards receiving on the day.
Yeah, that was huge. Finally seeing the DK Metcalf of old, the Aaron Rodgers of old, man.
Yeah.
Obviously our defense still needs a little work. We were giving up 22 points to a Ravens offense that has been struggling as of late, which is kind of like a huge story right now in the NFL. Like, are the Ravens even going to make the playoffs after being like a preseason favorite to win the Super Bowl? I don't know. But I
Yeah.
am super thankful because I am a pessimistic fan, and so I was right there with all these other pundits and analysts and fans saying like, "Hey, I don't know if we're gonna beat the Ravens." I thought we would split. I thought we'd lose this one and probably get the one at the end of the season to make the playoffs. But if we can get both of them, win our division, good chances at winning a playoff game, hopefully. But that's to be seen. Hopefully we can do it. Just super glad that Aaron Rodgers is healthy enough that we don't have to roll out Will Howard or Mason Rudolph. Like, dude, when I saw that, I was like, all right, we got a chance. But if we were rolling out Will Howard, we would have lost probably 30-3, something
Yeah.
like that, something wild. But huge win, especially divisional rival, keeps us at the top of that division, keeps us rolling.
Yeah, the name of the game now is just any kind of consistency from the Steelers because you haven't had that since the first couple games of the season.
Yeah.
Now looking at your schedule as well, I mean, you guys have Dolphins and Browns, two of the next three. Obviously, you have Ravens again at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Statistics say you'll probably lose that one just because you guys always split with them.
Always, yeah.
But and then the Ravens, on the other hand, they have a much tougher schedule remaining: Bengals, Patriots, Packers, and then you guys again. So if you were to look at both of those, you'd give Pittsburgh the edge in that. But again, you guys have been losing games all year that you shouldn't. So if you
Yeah.
can find any kind of consistency and at least beat the Dolphins and the Browns, with the Lions sitting right there in between those two games, I think you guys will be in a good spot. But
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's going to be key to that is finding any semblance of a run game. You guys
Any
rushed for
semblance.
34 yards total
Yeah, dog.
as a team. Kenneth Gainwell was your leading rusher with 15 freaking yards.
That's a point of emphasis. Wow, emphasis. We need to run Gainwell more. I mean,
He only
I
had
love
4 carries.
I love Jalen Warren, but like I think when Jalen Warren was out for like 2 weeks or one of the weeks, Kenneth Gainwell was obviously our starting back. Dude, he popped off. I think he was like top 5 in fantasy points that week, like against a good defense. I can't remember
Yeah.
who they played, but he popped off, and
No,
he's
I
also
remember
getting.
that because he was a last minute start on one of my leagues. I was
Yeah,
like, let's go.
exactly. But like even with the like you were saying, even like with Jalen Warren being the starting running back and getting most of the carries, Kenneth Gainwell is like leading the team in not I wouldn't say leading the team in rushes, but like during the games he's doing better than Jalen Warren.
Yeah. I
Like
mean, he has
I
an average in this game at least of 4 yards per carry.
yeah,
So that's
I
not
mean
terrible at all.
no, that's not bad at all. I just think we need to use him more. He's obviously someone that's waiting to explode if we just give him the ball a little bit more. And that's going to open up the rest of it, like play action, which Aaron Rodgers loves to run. That'll get DK Metcalf going down the field one-on-one, like just more opportunities for more explosive plays. Like I think that would really unlock our offense, but I mean, what do I know? But I just think we should play him more. Jalen Warren, he was good at the beginning of the season, kind of fell off after that injury, and we got a running back right behind him who's ready to take the reins and really do some damage in that backfield. But obviously, we're a little skittish to hand the ball to him.
Yeah, I think a little bit of a point of disappointment, I guess, was Caleb Johnson. Obviously, you guys drafted him out of Iowa,
Yeah.
and he hasn't really been the smart spark that you were kind of expecting early on. But we'll
No.
see if y'all boys are able to get it going. Next game we'll touch on is Packers Bears, boy. This one was I don't know if it would be an instant classic or not, but I thought it was just a really, really great game overall. Super, super fun to watch. Caleb Williams coming to play. He's really impressed me, especially in these last couple games playing against real teams and real defenses. He's been quite a bit better than I thought he would be.
Yeah.
Even though he obviously the play at the end looks bad, but Packers come away with a 28-21 victory with Jordan Love having a very, very impressive performance with finally a lot of his skill guys like Jaden Reed and Christian Watson back in the fold.
Yeah, Christian Watson's emerged as a star. Like that was kind of like the talk at the beginning of the season. Like Jordan Love didn't really have that guy to go to. They had like a bunch of guys that were like pretty good. Like they had a good wide receiver room, but they didn't have that guy, and that's kind of what Christian Watson has become. They went to him in big third down moments, big fourth down moments, red zone moments. Like he's kind of emerged as their go to, which I think is why Jordan Love's playing well, because like when he's in a pinch, he has somebody that he can get the ball to, and he doesn't have to scramble, make some really, really bad decisions, and turn the ball over. As long as Jordan Love's not turning the ball over, he's going for 230 yards, 3 TDs against a pretty good Bears defense and a pretty good Bears team that's surging, playing really well. And obviously the game was still close with a chance at the end to win. But yeah, I mean, if this is the Packers we get in the playoffs, there's no reason they shouldn't end up in the Super Bowl when it's all said and done.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of what I was saying last week with Jordan Love, like it all depends on him. If he's not playing well, kind of the rest of the team isn't doing as well. But with him playing well, it kind of opens up obviously the playbook to everything that they can get going with all the different skill players that they have. But I'm once again really just impressed with the Bears as well. They're obviously super ahead of schedule here, but these last couple games they've shown me that they can play with the big boys. Obviously beating the Eagles last week and then sticking it close with the Packers right until the end there. They obviously have the skill players on offense. With DeAndre Swift and Luther Burden and DJ Moore and Luther Burden, that was just kind of a steal of the draft, him dropping to the second round this
Mm-hmm.
past draft. So that was a really impressive pickup. Manungai out of nowhere is looking like a really solid back.
Yeah, really good.
The defense was kind of where all the question marks were, but they've put together a couple good performances in a row against really good teams here. But what did you think about that last the play that everybody's talking about when Caleb Williams going left on a 4th and 1? Looks like he might have the edge there, but decides to kind of chuck it up there to his tight end, not even close, and gets picked.
Yeah, I mean that just shows that's kind of like what people have been saying about Caleb Williams and like stuff that he has to get out of his game. There was another moment where I thought he should have checked it down to his tight end who was open on the left side of the field and kind of scrambled right and had a great throw in traffic to get the first down. This was a little earlier in the game. So it was like moments like that you're like, okay, this is what he can be, but it's a double-edged sword where at the end of the game where you need him to play on time, need him to take the easy throw, the easy option, the right option in that moment, live to fight again, and obviously he kind of forces it, makes a bad decision, and it costs him the game. And that's just showing stuff that he still needs to work out of his game. But like up to this point, if he just works that out, he's gonna be really, really, really good. Like a lot of teams are gonna wish they had him.
Yeah, I mean,
Come
I don't,
come in
I don't
season.
fault him as much for that 4th and 1 throw, just because he's trying to make a play there. The more what I thought was like, when he's rushing left, and you've seen this
Yeah.
multiple times, when he like really kicks it into gear and decides he wants to run, like he's pulling away from guys. So I really thought he was gonna try to like just, tuck it and try to go for that edge, but he had a couple guys bearing down on him, and throwing it, I guess, was the obviously the best plan B, but he didn't see DJ Moore coming, like, shallow right there. Instead, he just saw his tight end in the back of the end zone and tried to get it there. But
Yeah.
DJ Moore was wide open, like, right
Wide
behind
open.
all those defenders that were kinda staring at him. Obviously, didn't see him and ended up paying for it. But, you know, terrible throw. It's not a great looking play, but, I can see what he was trying to do there. But, it'll be
But they,
interesting to
they
see. Go ahead.
Yeah. They ran that play like successfully throughout that game and like earlier in the season, which
Yeah.
one could have been a point of emphasis by the Packers knowing like this play is coming during this fourth down. And the other thing is if you watch it back, he had him open.
Mm-hmm.
He was just
He's
like
late
two
too.
two moments late. And then
Yeah.
obviously, like you said, he had room still in the back of the end zone and just floated it too short, and at the cost him the game. But I mean, the play was there. They ran it successfully all game, and then boom, ran it successfully again. Just a little too late with the read, and obviously ended up costing them at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, doesn't really get much easier for the Bears, but obviously I'm gonna be watching their games, expecting for some riveting games, just because they got Packers in about 10 days on a Saturday night. I think they got Niners on a Sunday night after that. Lions in their last game. They do have the Browns coming up this week, so that's a kind of a must win for them. But
Yeah,
yeah, they're turning into a really fun team to watch. So excited to see
definitely.
what comes out of there. Next game we'll touch on Texans Chiefs.
Let's freaking go! Oh
Chiefs
my
falling short
gosh.
in this one, 20-10. Chiefs offense absolutely just pathetic really on the day. Drops everywhere, bro.
Love to
Couldn't
see it.
they could not catch anything. Texans defense really, really solid, as we've kind of been accustomed to so far this year. Offense getting some things done here when it really matters. Nico Collins with a huge day. CJ Stroud
Yeah,
being able to get the boys going. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, their offense definitely stuttered quite a bit in the second half, but Chiefs couldn't make them pay. And it's looking pretty bleak for the Chiefs now to get into that playoff race. So
That's freaking right. That's freaking right. This also snaps their divisional title run
it
as
does
well.
officially. Yep.
That is officially over. That's gonna be up for grabs. It's gonna be the Broncos. That's who I have winning it.
Yeah.
Chargers are making a slight push, but just not quite the Chargers we saw at the beginning of the season with Justin Herbert being hurt. But this is about like good for the Texans. Thank you. You did your job, but this is all about just how happy I am to see the Chiefs brought down, and also the reason being Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce had 3 ginormous drops in this game. And that's kind of been his season, and it's just like,
Yeah, I
you know,
wouldn't go ahead.
I'm I'm just happy. That's all I had to say. You can go ahead with what you're saying. I don't know. I'm just happy to see that. Obviously, they're not mathematically eliminated, but
Yeah.
it is looking really hard. They have to win out and have other things happen. So,
Yeah.
and those other things don't
A
look
lot of different
likely.
things happening.
Yeah.
Right. You need a couple big collapses. Obviously, kind of what I was saying last week, the Colts look like they're kind of ready to collapse. And I
Yeah.
said that right before Danny Dimes went down for the season.
You
So
did, yeah.
they might slide out, given some of the teams below them a chance. But at this point, the Chiefs need even the people that are outside of the playoffs looking in to collapse too. Like the Ravens need to
Yeah.
kind of help them out a little bit. Obviously, if the Colts fall out, like I said last week, they really needed the win against the Texans to kind of propel them up, and they weren't able to get that. So,
Yeah.
as far as the game goes, like I put very little of, if any, of the blame on Mahomes himself. I mean, he's still Mahomes
That's
back
true.
there. All
Yeah.
the drops his receivers are having, Kelsey in particular. Kelsey's, I mean, he
He's
was
bad.
okay at the beginning of the season. He was kind of carrying that receiver group, but now he's dropping every week, and it's not just like drops. It's like he's bobbling it and it gets picked, and it's just it's huge parts of the game.
Yep.
So he's not looking great at all. Mahomes, the stat line will look bad with 3 interceptions, but at least 2 of those weren't on him. But yeah, he's not looking great at all. And the Chiefs defense kind of did their job. Chris Jones had a huge day. He felt like he was everywhere, but
Mhm.
ultimately their offense just could not get anything going. So
Nope.
huge props to the Texans. CJ Stroud, he's had an up and down year, but again, like I said before, just doing just enough, not trying to be not trying to force anything, or trying to do too much, just kind of running the offense and doing what they need to do to get the dub there, and running the ball really consistently. Um, Obviously came up big against the Chiefs. And I think I'll finally say officially, I don't think the Chiefs are making the playoffs this year. I've held
Yeah.
on, but just because the Chiefs are the Chiefs. But I think even if they win, they won out. They need too much to happen above them to get them in. So
Yeah.
um, it
America
does.
would explode if they made the playoffs. Like if
Yeah,
everything just worked out, there would be some suspicions too about some things working out. If some of those games
something.
start being questionable with the refereeing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
a lot.
I think it's safe to say they're not gonna make it. Thank
Yeah,
goodness.
and a lot of the podcasts and stuff that I listen to think that like it's going to be a big teardown off season for the Chiefs.
I mean, they
A
gotta.
lot of people thought they should have done it last year, but obviously when you win like 15 games, you can't necessarily do like a full
Right.
like teardown. But obviously all those one score games and them squeaking by, maybe it gave them like a false sense of like how good they were, and now it kind of is showing like how good the team actually is. So, um, maybe it's time to kind of tear down a lot of those pieces and rebuild. But as far as like this era of the dynasty, it might be over this year. So
Might be over.
um, yeah, we shall see.
Good.
Do you think that this is the end of the Chiefs dynasty, or you just think it's a reloading?
Unfortunately not. It's just going to be a reloading. The biggest things that you have to get to have a successful team, they already have. They have the one of the best coaches to ever do it and one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. Then you just got to put pieces. I think their biggest issue is they just got to get younger. They got a bunch of old guys.
Mm.
They got to get a better running backs. The running backs are kind of old. And the emphasis was on the tackles this season, so the interior of the offensive line really. I mean, they have Humphrey, who's a great center, but like,
They had
the
injuries on
interior,
that line too.
yeah, the interior line was really beat up, which doesn't help the run game. So they just got to get younger and keep fixing the offensive line. They'll be back. I mean, I don't know if they'll win a Super Bowl next season or whatever, but
Yeah,
they're not going to miss the playoffs next season. And give
yeah,
them 2-3 years, they'll probably be back in the Super Bowl.
yeah, exactly. And again, it kind of similar to what we were saying last year when everybody was like celebrating that they had lost this. It was like it just shows you like the standard that they've had is like they've been to what 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls or something nuts.
Crazy,
So
yeah.
like the standard, and Greeny said it this week, is like the earliest Mahomes has gone out in an NFL season where he started is overtime of the AFC
Of the
Championship
AFC
game,
Championship game.
which is
Totally.
crazy.
That I
Um,
mean, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the Patriots dynasty took a 10-year, like they didn't even make, they
10-year
didn't,
break, yeah,
yeah,
right,
between their Super Bowls. So I
yeah,
mean, I don't see that happening to the Chiefs,
no,
but they're definitely in a lull right now.
yeah,
They gotta retool. Travis has to retire, and then they'll retool, and they'll be
yeah.
set.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Their running back room is way too old. They probably feel like so dumb for not giving up that 3rd or 4th round pick for Breece Hall at the deadline. Like,
Yeah,
what the heck, dude? Their receiving core, like they have, I think Rashee Rice is still solid. Xavier Worthy seems entirely overrated to me now. I don't know if they're just not using him right and they need to get some end arounds going or something, but he just does not look like his vision just looks so bad. Like he'll catch a ball. You saw this against my Cowboys, and I think he had one in this game too. He catches the ball in a ton of space and he either like turns the wrong direction or just goes down or whatever. So like I don't know what's going on with him. Hollywood
yeah,
Brown is fine like every now and then, but overall I just, he has just his ups and downs. He's not elite by any stretch of the imagination. So, like you said, they just need to get a little bit younger. But like you said, they have the coach and they have the quarterback, and their offensive line when everybody's there is really solid. So,
yeah, yeah,
like you said,
definitely.
they'll probably be back, but it just probably won't be this year. And like you said, they kind of doubling down, I guess, on everything you said. It's just like you can't expect them to be in the freaking Super Bowl every single year. So, um, they'll retool and probably be back.
They'll be back.
But
They'll be back.
we shall see. Probably without Travis Kelce if I had to bet. But
Yeah, he's
we'll
gonna
see
get
what
married
happens
this
in the
off season,
offseason.
right off to the sunset.
Yeah, I don't know if it's much of a sunset if you don't make the playoffs, but
That's true.
whatever. We're
That's
here
true.
for it. Last game we'll
Anyways,
recap from this riveting Week 14: Chargers Eagles.
huge for your
Another
boys.
beautiful L. going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, I couldn't celebrate this one entirely because my Cowboys had just lost a couple days before, so we weren't able to fully cash in on the Eagles skid. Because that, like I was saying, that was kind of our best bet to get into the playoffs, is hoping for an Eagles skid, and the Eagles skid is happening, but Cowboys aren't able to take
Yeah,
advantage.
it's
But
tough.
Chargers with a solid dub here, 22-19, in one of the ugliest games I have ever watched on a
22-19.
Monday night. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, they were
Six
outplayed.
turnovers in one quarter.
6 turnovers in one corners, one one quarter, one quarter. Can't freaking talk. Jalen Hurts, first NFL player to ever turn the ball over twice in one play. Literally wild play. Throws a pick,
Four
fumbles the ball, grabs
interceptions
the
on the
fumble,
day,
fumbles it
bro.
again to the other team, dude.
Oh, I love it.
5 turnovers on the night, dude. He at dude, when is America gonna wake up to the fact that he is just bad when he throws the ball?
Yeah.
Like I turned the game on and they had the ball and they were driving down the field, and literally in that like first like 10 minutes of watching, literally sailed the ball on like 3 crossing routes when the guy was wide open. And he was like throwing the ball behind guys, just has zero touch. Like all he can
Yep.
throw is like a long ball, barely, and
Mhm.
that's it. Anything, anything like medium range down the middle of the field, outside the bound, dude, it's so bad. He's bad,
He's
and
terrible.
they're
I was
like,
on
especially
this
if
from the beginning, America.
I mean, you're biased, so no one's gonna listen to the Cowboy fans say it. Like, but I think everyone's with you now. Like, they're bad. He is the reason that their offense has looked the way it has, and they're gonna probably draft a quarterback in this draft. You know, some are saying Diego Pavia, little Pavia action, and that
Yeah.
would not work with Sirianni. There's just too much going on with Pavia, but
Taking
they
Pavia.
definitely need to draft a quarterback. Because I don't think Jalen's the long term answer, even though he won a freaking Super Bowl last season. But
Yeah.
that was because Barkley was on a generational run.
Yeah. Obviously I'm hopelessly biased, like you were saying, against the Eagles. But like it didn't take a lot to see that like Jalen Hurts like was just surrounded by a bunch of Ferraris for skill players. Like
Right.
he literally had the best running back like literally in history. And Saquon Barkley in his backfield last year, two wide receiver ones, like we always say, with it, Brett Brown and Smith, a top five offensive line. I mean, you can put just about any quarterback in the history of the NFL in his position there with all those guys, and he would look pretty good. So, the fact that he's struggling now, that their run game isn't super solid, and they've got a couple guys on the offensive line missing, and he actually has to throw the ball, that he's struggling doesn't surprise me at all. Saquon Barkley finally had a good game on the ground, breaking a big
Yeah.
one and everything, but yeah, their defense. I feel bad for their defense, bro. Their defense gets so many stops, so many times they get them the ball back, and they just like they should be like if the Cowboys offense was paired with the Eagles defense, like they would be Super Bowl in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just unable to capitalize. Like we were saying, super, super ugly game, really on both sides. So many
Mm-hmm.
turnovers back and forth, but um, it was so funny watching the two teams because like they were like scared to like throw the ball because they're like
Yeah.
we just don't want to like have it intercepted again. But
Uh huh.
ultimately, Herbert and the boys get the dub. They actually have a couple guys coming back, which is good to see. Hampton was his first game back in a little while. I think they had a receiver come back as well who had been out for most of the year, so they're getting healthy at the right time to hopefully hold off those wild card teams that are a little bit farther down in the standings. But I absolutely love to
Yes,
see the Eagles
sir.
lose, as everyone is aware on this podcast. And again, it's just sad that my Cowboys couldn't get a dub against the Lions because Eagles have now lost three
That's
in a row
tough.
here. They got the Raiders coming up, so you'd think they'd be able to get that one, but
Get right,
um,
game. Get right.
we shall see. We shall see. A little preview here. Got several
All
games
right.
we'll touch on here to go into week 15. Crazy we're this
Yes,
far into the
sir.
season already.
We got
Um,
who we got.
we got Ravens Bengals. I'm going to start out with your favorite division here,
Yes,
with
sir.
a little Lamar Jackson and a little Joe Burrow. Do you think Joe Burrow and the boys get back into the not really back into the race, but hold off the Ravens from getting a little bit closer to that division title?
I mean, as a Steelers fan, I'm hoping for a tie. That would be absolutely great. Like no winner or
Nice.
loser, just tie the game. This is really like a yin and yang game where it's like the Ravens offense is bad, but the Bengals defense is bad. The Ravens defense is good, but the Bengals offense is good. So it's
Yeah.
like this might be a game where it's a lot closer just because both sides of the ball are kind of like unfortunately evenly matched, if you would say. But I think the Ravens figure something out. I think
Mm.
they start firing here at the end of the season. And I'm not saying they'll slip into the playoffs, but they have a better chance than the Bengals, and so I think they have a little bit more to play for than the Bengals. So I give them the edge this week.
Interesting. You think Ravens are still making the playoffs at 6-7 right now?
Maybe, I don't know. They might slip
Maybe.
in there, but who knows? Who
I'm gonna take
knows?
Bengals. I think they feel really bad after last week, literally giving that one away. I think they're gonna try to make it interesting here at the end, just because both of the teams ahead of them don't have great records. I think they're gonna try to win out and see what happens. Um, Yeah, I just think they have a lot to prove. T. Higgins is back. He had a huge day at the Bills in the snow. So, and all that for like pride too. After a bad game. So,
Yeah,
I'll take
for
the Bengals
sure.
in that one. Next one, Chargers Chiefs. Just talked about the Chargers getting a big dub. Against Philly. Chiefs playing for their season literally here on out. We've been saying that for a couple weeks, but they just keep on losing, so it makes the position even more dire for them. Who you got? Chargers Chiefs.
Yeah, this one's tough. I think the
Chiefs at home
Chiefs.
again.
Yeah, Chiefs at home. I think they're really, really playing desperately. Chargers still a little banged up, so I think I'm gonna edge just the Chiefs because the Chiefs are playing for their playoff lives. Chargers are playing for trying to catch up to the Broncos in the division. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs, even though I still don't think they'll make the playoffs, but they'll win this game.
Yeah. Um, Deep down, I want to go with you, but I'm gonna pick the Chargers just
Chargers, all
because
right.
I've literally been saying exactly what you just said about the Chiefs for like 3 of the past 4 weeks,
That's
and
true.
they've
That's
lost
true.
like three of those games, I think. So,
Uh-huh.
um, I'll go against them just because it just seems like every time I say that and then pick the Chiefs goes opposite. So, I'm
Yep.
gonna go with the Chargers, and hopefully that pays off. Bills Pats, big time divisional game
Tough.
here. This is pretty important to if the Bills win to get them a little bit closer to the Pats up there in that AFC East. Who you got?
Oh, this one's tough. I really don't like the Bills defense. I really don't. New England Patriots are running the ball well. Bills can't stop it. Is this? You might have just said it, and I wasn't paying attention. Where are they playing this? Is it in New England?
Yes, it is in New England.
In New England, give me the Pats. Unfortunately, I think the Pats sweep the Bills this season.
Interesting. I want to let when's the last time that happened?
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, at least 5 or 6 seasons probably.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but whatever. I don't
It's a
know,
tough one.
man.
It's a
This one's
tough one.
hard.
I mean, Bills are playing better, but their defense is still not very good. I think
I'm
I
gonna
think
say
I
the Bills. I'll say the
really.
Bills just
All
because
right.
I mean, law of averages in these divisions, like these big time games, they almost always split. Josh Allen's going to be feeling some type of way after he lost the first one at home. So, um, I think the Bills win and make the division race a little bit more interesting here. I don't feel great about that pick just because I
Yeah.
like what the Patriots are doing on offense, but and like you said, the Bills defense is iffy, but like on their day, Buffalo can have like what they did against you guys was crazy, forcing 6 turnovers.
Right. Yeah.
So they can play better, but we'll see. I'll
That's
I'll pick
true.
the Bills there, I guess. Next we got Packers Broncos. This will be a pretty
Ooh.
important one for each of these teams coming down to the end for the 1 seed or like the higher seeding in the playoff race here. Who you got?
Yeah, this one's gonna get dicey. Two good defenses, really, really good defenses. Two quarter. I'm gonna go Green Bay because I think they have the better quarterback,
Mm,
and if he plays well, they have the better offense, and they have a really good defense. So I'm gonna go Green Bay, even though the Broncos are coming in after winning 10 straight. So
yeah,
they're a really really good team. They're kind of like the Chiefs of old last season, winning these one
right.
score games every week. So that's got to end at some point. So give me Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Green Bay as well. I like what the Broncos are doing, but most of the teams that they played as of late, like they obviously they can rely on their incredible defense, but a lot of the teams they
Mm.
played as of late don't have incredible offenses. I think this is the best offense they will have seen since probably like my Cowboys, which was like 6 or 8 weeks ago. Um, Chief obviously they beat the Chiefs in there, but the Chiefs we've just talked about how much they're struggling this year. So I don't think that they've dealt with an offense like the Packers so far this year. I think the Packers will get it done by just ever so slightly. I also think the Packers are a little bit better on defense, so like them squeaking by on these little Bo Nix slant routes and stuff like that
Yeah.
might finally come to an end. So I agree
Yep.
with you on that one. Lions Rams, another riveting Lions game here, going up against a team that's also fighting to get that number one seed in the NFC. Who you got?
Yeah, the Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff Bowl.
Yeah.
Obviously they swapped quarterbacks a few years ago, and it worked out for the Rams. Worked out for the Lions too. Just didn't end up in a Super Bowl.
Mm,
I think the Rams are one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL right now. Lions are doing better, but I still think they have some things to figure out. Amon St. Brown is I don't think he's questionable, but he did come back from an injury last week, a little ahead of schedule, I believe, were some of the reports coming out. So his health is a point of concern, not only for them but my fantasy team as well. But give me the Rams. Their defense and their offense is just
yeah.
behind MVP Matty Stafford right now and
Hmm.
Puka Nakua, dude, unstoppable right now.
Yeah, I'm
Unless
gonna
you're the
take.
Panthers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the you're right. I'm gonna take the Rams as well. I think they're just way too high flying on offense. I think they'll put up a lot. Maybe not a lot more points, but I think they'll put up at least 30, just like my Cowboys did, and their defense is going to play a little bit better than my Cowboys did, and I think that they'll get the dub. And yeah, funny, I was during the Rams game, I was at youth group, and I just had my phone like off to the side while I was doing something or whatever, and I just kept seeing Matthew Stafford touchdown to Puka Nakua, Matthew Stafford touchdown to Puka Nakua on my fantasy pop up, and I was just like, keep it going,
Keep
boys.
it
So.
rolling, boys. Let's
Um,
go.
and I know we keep talking about this, but like Matthew Stafford's stat line looks incredible this year.
It's
Like 3,300
insane.
yards passing, 35 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
It's crazy, dude.
So, I mean, give that man the MVP,
And
bro.
most
And
of
like
the
in that,
interceptions came against
the
Carolina, so
Panthers,
literally like one
exactly.
game. One
Yeah.
game.
And the reason that I find that even more impressive is like that he's got Seattle and San Francisco that are both at 9 and 10 wins respectively
Yep.
to in his division with those
Hmm.
defenses he's got to deal with. Like 6 of his games are going to be against top 10 defenses in those teams. So
Yeah,
just super impressive year by him so far.
absolutely.
So I think they're going to keep on rolling. Last game we'll touch on here, Colts Seahawks. Who you got in this one? Seahawks trying to scale that playoff ladder as well, and Colts just trying to survive right now. Possibly a 44-year-old Phil Rivers at the helm.
I was gonna say the story is there for a great story, but I just don't think it like what a tough matchup. Like if Philip Rivers really does start for them, which I mean, why would you bring him in, sign him to the practice squad? Like obviously they're working him out, seeing where he's at, but like what a tough start. Like the Seahawks have been one of the best teams in the NFL, and I it sucks. I'm sorry, Micah, but the Colts might not even make the playoffs now, especially if they're rolling out Philip Rivers. Give me the Seahawks, probably by a lot. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah,
Probably by a lot.
I'm gonna take the Seahawks as well. Not looking great for the Colts over there. Nothing going right. When I first heard that they were gonna sign Phil Rivers, I was like, "Wow, Riley Leonard must feel some type of way. Like he didn't even get a fair shot." But then I realized that he was apparently hurt as well. So nothing going right for the Colts. Their last 4 games are Seahawks, Niners, Jags, and Texans. So they might not win a game. here on out, despite their incredible start to the season. And like I said before, I think that they're probably going to miss the playoffs at this point if I had to put
Probably.
money on it. So very unfortunate stuff for them. The
Yeah,
Seahawks
that sucks.
are flying high with Sam Darnold and that incredible defense. Legion of Boom
Yep,
is back, so
it
we'll see
is.
if they're able to get an important win there for their seeding in the NFC.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of people will tune into that game just to see if Philip Rivers plays. But
Yes,
obviously, like I said,
myself included.
I see it. Yeah, I'm gonna watch like 44-year-old Philip Rivers. If he's slinging it around, dude, that's gonna be the ultimate pulling him all. That's gonna be better than pulling Like Joe Flacco was still like working out and stuff. I don't think Philip Rivers was still working out. He's been out of the league for 4 years.
I
So
mean, he was a high school coach, and he's got a million kids, and his son is actually the quarterback of the team and one of the top quarterback recruits in the country. So it's not like he was just sitting on his couch eating Doritos for the last couple of years. I'm sure he's been like in and around,
that's
staying
true.
active. But yeah, he's not by any means at the NFL level or anything on the day to day. So we'll see.
Yep. Better than Anthony Richardson though. So anyways, running a little bit long. Do you want to throw some fantasy in quick or get out of here?
No, that was from last week anyway. So
Oh,
we
was
can
it from
just
last week?
yeah.
Cheapers, not deleting stuff out of the doc. Anyways, yeah, that's gonna do it for the NFL portion of the podcast. Got a lot of good games and the playoff push is heating up. So all these games meaning a little bit more, which is fun to watch. But we're gonna slide it over to some college football here in just a minute.
Alrighty, starting off the college football portion of the podcast with yet another Michigan University scandal here. We don't have all the details yet, but as of just a couple hours ago, Sharon Moore has been fired for cause, according to the university. They didn't give too much detail, but basically, there's just another scandal. Looks like there was an alleged assault that went down. That was just a notification that popped up on my phone about
Oh
20
boy.
minutes ago. He has now been detained by police. Oh, it's another wild twist to the story, so I'm not really sure what's going on there, but yet another scandal here by the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough look. Like Harbaugh literally leaves, and it was all going down while he was still there. Like he was suspended for a little bit. Harbaugh was, that is, during their championship run. I don't know. Michigan, they're too big of a program for this to really like matter. Like if they get the right coach, they're still gonna get recruits. Like people want to play for the M, and so like I don't think it's gonna hurt them that much. And obviously, I kind of said this jokingly, but like half serious off pod. But uh, I think Michigan's just happy that they have an out. They're like what have they done the past 2 years since Harbaugh's been there? Haven't made the did they make? They didn't make the playoff last year.
No.
Obviously, did not make it this year. So it's obviously not where they want to see their program. And now with him out, it just gives them a reason to get rid of him, but to also put in place someone that's gonna take Michigan where they want them to go and want them to be in the future for sure.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know a lot of the details about
Yeah, I'm literally reading right now. It literally,
about what went down, but it sounds like it could, like they didn't mind, I guess
yeah.
when they found out about it because there's a lot of talk about him being on the hot seat anyway. Sounds like it's pretty sad whatever went down. I don't know a lot of the details, but that'll probably come out at some point in the next couple of days. But I think it's so rich of like the Michigan fans that I know and like Dave Portnoy, like when the Michigan State stuff started coming out like a few weeks ago about I don't even know remember it wasn't that big of a scandal, but they got handed some kind of punishment. They're
Hmm.
like on their high horse about talking like about what Michigan men are like and honor and respect and all that stuff. Well, that is so rich coming from a program that like your national championship is like shaded in all of this scandal about you cheating and all that. And then you have this come out about your head coach, like, you know, just some sketchy stuff going on there is now getting arrested and all that stuff. It's so ironic to me that they think that they're so far above everyone else in college football, and they're the team with the most scandals in the last couple of years of college football. So,
So many.
but yeah, like you said, it sounds like they're not gonna mind getting rid of Sharon Moore after a couple seasons where he's not really. I mean, they did win what 9 games this year, so that's not a terrible
Yeah.
season. But by their standards, they're gonna want to be in the playoffs, especially with 12 teams now. So
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those programs that it's big enough that they get the recruits, so it's like you really can put anybody there, but obviously to take them to a different level, they need
yeah,
a real coach, but
and
like
I still think Harbaugh is like so incredibly like. Obviously, you understand if you're in his position, maybe you do the same thing. But like, I just feel like he did like the weak thing, and like he knew about some of the cheating stuff, I think. And then he got out of there like just in time, like right after they won the national championship,
mm,
allegedly. Like, and then like when all the punishments were coming down, he's like, "Peace, I'm going to the NFL," so that he's
yeah.
like insulated from all the punishments that he's gonna get. So that's just whatever. But
Yeah, that looked a
anyways,
little skeezy for sure.
yeah. But whatever. He's a hard boss, so you expect nothing less.
Yeah. Big 10 get a Big 10.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's kind of just trying to give you a segue there, bud. Just take the segue.
Yeah, whatever. Speaking of the
Michigan go to
Big
Michigan, I
Ten,
guess.
Big Ten championship, we got Indiana, Ohio State. We watched this one together at your
Let's
house.
go.
Pretty fun vibes going on over there. Little pizza and wangs and stuff like that. So,
Oh, that pizza was so good. I
oh,
want some
dude,
right now.
that was top notch. I got to go
It was
back to
good
wherever
pizza,
that
wasn't it?
was.
Have
It
you had
was
that
really
before?
good. No, I had not. That was
Shout
good
out
stuff.
Frankie's New York style pizza right off of Pelham over by Michelin. If you know, you know. Dude,
Sponsor
so
us.
good. Dude, I thought about it a couple times. I talked to the owner just because I was asking, like, obviously I'm from New York and they're actually from New York. It's not just like New York style pizza. You know how some places do that.
Yeah.
But they're actually from New York. And so I was just talking to him about that, and I was just like, dude, this pizza reminds me of home and stuff like that. So nice dude. Obviously, I don't know him like that well. Had one conversation with him as I was leaving, but super good pizza, literally over near work. So I get it for lunch. Like, I wouldn't say quite a bit, but if I can, I'll go grab it. But anyways, Indiana, Ohio State. I wanted Indiana to win. I don't know about everybody else. So I was pretty pleased with the outcome of this game. What'd you think? Did you watch it when you got home too? Like you turned
Yeah,
it on
yeah,
after you got
for
home?
sure. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously saw the ending. I didn't have a horse in the race. I just want to see a great game, which this was, despite it
It
not being
was.
super high scoring. Really impressed by Indiana holding the Buckeyes to only 10 points there. Ohio State not really being able to get it going with their Ferraris for skill players.
Yeah.
But yeah, super impressive stuff from Indiana, their defense. Fernando Mendoza going down with a huge hit
You got
early.
clocked.
He got destroyed on that one,
Oh.
but obviously hung in there. Still had a solid game. Everybody was clowning him after that interview, which
Yeah.
was so
Tough.
cringe, dude. But he's like the new Kirk Cousins. Like he's gonna get drafted somewhere and just be like a super analytical, like
yeah.
middle of the pack quarterback. And he's yeah. So
Yeah, he
but
played at Cal before he went to Indiana. Like, so
yeah,
super smart.
yeah.
Like,
So it's
dude, just a weird dude. Like, I saw him on the Pat McAfee show, and like, just an odd dude.
yeah.
I mean, that's probably the best way to describe him. It was
It's a
just,
little bit endearing though, like in my opinion. Like
yeah, for sure.
all these guys, I don't know. Yeah. So I like him. I don't know if he'll get to the point where him being a cornball will like annoy me, but for now, I can
You're
get
all
with it
right
a
with
little
it. You're
bit.
rocking
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. If it's
Yeah.
he's plastered everywhere for the next couple of years, I might get sick of it. But for now, I'm okay with it.
Nah, he's gonna end
Um.
up on the Jets and totally just after that, like you said, end up like Kirk Cousins, just a guy that hops around after that.
Yeah.
Freaking Mendoza.
Biggest thing coming out of this game though was that 27-yard field goal that the homeboy from the
Oh my
Buckeyes missed.
goodness.
Oh my goodness. 20,
I don't,
27
yeah.
yards? That's
Yeah.
probably shorter than the Pat McAfee game day field goals.
Yeah, it is. It's a 30-yarder that they have to kick for Pat McAfee.
That's
Like,
crazy.
dude, I mean, I
How
don't
do you
normally say this,
shank
and
that, dude?
yeah, I get ticked off when people say this, because I hear it a lot where they're just like, "You're a kicker, you have one job," because obviously it's harder than people like think. But like
Yeah.
at the same time, like, dude, you had one job.
I
It's a chip
know.
shot. Like, I can understand if you're missing like 40 plus, like
The
things
amount of different
happen,
ways you can kick that ball and it still goes through the
still
uprights
goes
is
in,
insane.
still goes in. But to literally, like, to put it in golf terms, literally hosel the crap out of it and just like snap hook this freaking thing to the left. Didn't
Brutal.
he miss? It was just one, wasn't it? I thought he missed two in the game. I can't remember.
Um,
It was so long
Let me
ago.
look. I actually have the stuff right in
By
front
so
of me.
long ago, literally last week. But
No, he
yeah,
made the
dude,
other one.
he made the other one. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that was obviously
he missed another one earlier in the season that almost cost them a
yeah.
game. So, he's been a little bit inconsistent, I guess you could say. But
Everyone had Ohio State though, but lo and behold, Indiana, the number one seed in the college football
yeah,
playoffs.
Indiana stopped him on that fourth down too, which was really impressive.
Yeah.
So big props to them. Like you said, number one seed going into the college football playoff with Ohio State sliding down. Was it a couple spots or just? I think it was. Are
Just
they? No,
they
just
just
one.
flipped.
You're
Yeah, they
right.
just
You're right.
flipped 1 and 2,
Yeah.
Indiana,
So
Ohio
still get a
State.
bye, which I think is deserving in my opinion. But
Oh yeah.
you'd still want to see if you're an Ohio State fan for them to get that Big Ten championship that they've not like you think Big Ten. You're like Ohio State's won this like basically like on repeat for several years, but they've actually like not won the Big Ten in like a little while because they'd obviously lost to Michigan those couple years when they were better.
Uh-huh.
And then last year I think they were out of it. And then this year they lose in the game, so they haven't won it in a little while, I don't think. But
Yep.
um,
Yep.
anyway, good stuff going on to Georgia, Bama. Watched most of this game. Um,
Schlacked.
yeah,
Absolute
watched the
schlacked.
end of it at your place when we were getting there. Absolutely love to see this. Georgia Bulldogs putting it on the Tide, 28-7. Alabama finished with -3 rushing yards, which was
That's
absolutely beautiful.
crazy.
They were punting at the end of third quarters. Alabama was just to make sure that they didn't get blown out by more.
Yep.
Georgia
Yep.
I felt like they were doing everything that they wanted to do on offense, and
Yep.
every time they would bring a blitz, they would get to the quarterback. Every time they would, there'd be any kind of pass, their guys were getting to the ball first. So just a clinic put on here by the Georgia Bulldogs and Gunner Stockton, baby.
Gunner Stockton. That was my point, my talking point. Friggin', it was just the day of like terrible post game interviews, dude. Like his was different for a whole. His was like bad for a whole nother reason, but like it looked like that dude had never been in front of a mic before. He was like stumbling over what he was gonna say. Not that I would be any better, but like a little bit of media training would go a long way for some of these guys. But
He's just a good
nah,
old Georgia boy.
he's
Leave him
just a good
alone.
old Georgia boy. He don't want the fame. He's just there to play ball and hunt and fish. That's all he wants to do. But obviously, I mean, if Georgia's in the SEC championship game, it's like a home game all the time. Played it in Atlanta, so like obviously Alabama had that going against them. But yeah, not much of a running game. -3 yards, like you alluded to and said. Couldn't get their offense going. Their passing game is elite when it's on, but it was not on today. Georgia just obviously the better team, not just from the score, but just the eye test as well. Just a better team.
Yeah, yeah, incredible performance by the Dogs.
I
Um,
know.
and yeah, Ty Simpson really was struggling in this game. 19 for 39. Threw a pick in there as well, pretty bad one. So
Just for
just
good
on the
measure.
struggle bus for a guy that's not looked good in several weeks here, and the Tide haven't looked good in several weeks here. Like kind of barely scraping by Auburn by a touchdown, losing to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, just a little bit of a struggle bus here for Alabama, but they still make the college football playoff, which we'll touch on in just a little bit. The other two conference championships games that we'll touch on: Texas Tech, BYU. Tech kind of running away with this one with their incredible
Yeah.
defense. BYU couldn't get anything going. Again, their defense is just incredible with Jacob Rodriguez leading those boys over there. Ben Roberts had a huge game. Just in the backfield all the time, seemingly. And just a really impressive win by the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who have kind of been running that Big 12 all year, with their only loss being to Arizona State. So putting up like 40 and 50 points on basically everybody they played this year.
Yeah, slack BYU. They slacked them earlier in the season too. It was a big time matchup earlier in the season as well. Obviously
Yeah,
clashing here in the Big 12 championship game. Tech's a wagon, man. Look out for
they
them.
are.
I would call them a dark horse because there's other teams above them that you're just like obviously are like really really good, but Tech has just been consistently good all season. Obviously they play in I would say a weaker conference, but there's still some good teams in the Big 12.
For
Obviously,
sure.
playing BYU, who was a top 15 team coming into this game. So look out for Texas Tech. I don't know. This was their first Big 12 title ever in school history. So good
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, which is surprising how long they've been in there. You think they win one or two, but Oklahoma State has more Big 12 titles than they do in football. Um,
Crazy.
but yeah, I like you said, they might be a little bit of a dark horse just because of the other brands that are in the playoff. But they're sitting there at that fourth position, with a bye, with that incredible defense. Like the defense in college, defense is so important in college. Like I would say maybe even more than in the NFL,
Yeah.
just because so few teams have like an incredible defense that you can really rely on. And Tech definitely has that behind Jacob Rodriguez. So watch
Mhm.
out for them, man, to make a little bit of noise in that playoff. And we'll see how far they can go. Because they have, like, Big 12 is known for having great offenses, which Tech has as well. But it's just a little bit more rare that you see the best team in the Big 12 also have an incredible defense. So we'll see how far it takes them. But last game we'll touch on Duke, Virginia. This one was important for a lot of different reasons. This one had college football playoff implications as well. A lot of people were saying if Duke would won this game, that ACC was going to find themselves with no teams at all in the college football playoff. Duke did end up with the dub though. On this one, I was able to watch the last 5-ish minutes or so of the fourth quarter, and that was really the most important part when Duke came away with the dub on this one, 27-20.
Yeah, the chaos that ensued after, like this was like leading up to this game, everyone was like, if Duke wins, the bottom of the bracket in the college football playoffs gets crazy.
Mm.
And they won, and it did, and it really threw everything kind of out. I don't understand everything, and I mean that's probably like just a good segue to dive into the playoff. But like I know Notre Dame was kind of like hanging on by a thread because of that head to head against Miami, and everyone was like Miami should be in, which I fully agree. Miami should be in over Notre Dame. Uh, but people were saying maybe Notre Dame should be in over Alabama after Alabama got slacked in their conference game. It was a whole mess, and it all happened because Duke won. And you can probably explain this better, but it's because since Duke won, that means JMU and Tulane were the two highest conference winners, highest ranked conference winners. So they automatically get in just because Virginia would have gotten in if they had won. And so obviously Virginia dropped the ball as Virginia does, but good for Duke winning the ACC, which is kind of wild because going in, like I had Clemson winning the national championship, so I was just like, of course Clemson's gonna just mow through the ACC, and then we end up with a Virginia Duke ACC championship game
Yeah.
with playoff implications, like
Well,
absolutely wild.
if you look how the ACC played out, like if Clemson was even just like above average, they
Yeah,
would have like handled that conference easily. But it just shows you how bad they were this
they were
year.
so bad.
Um, yeah, Duke with an impressive win. That fourth and goal in overtime was super hype when they got that touchdown, and then obviously the interception to seal it was hype as well. But yeah, like you said, super big college football playoff implications. I guess we'll just dive into that now at this point. But yeah, like you said, the top five highest ranked conference champions will get into the playoff, and the ACC screwed that one up because their champion was not even ranked. So
Mm-hmm.
even though Miami's in the ACC, their bid is an at-large bid, so it's not like an actual conference champion. So that's how you get two group of five teams in there with Tulane all the way down at 20th. They get in as
Yeah,
an 11 seed, and then James Madison at 24th get in as a 12 seed. But
yeah.
yeah, I guess we'll just get into a couple of the debates here. I I was so angry that Alabama was in. Of course, I already knew that they were going to be in, just because even if Alabama had 5 or 6 losses, they'd still be arguing for them to be in the playoff.
Exactly.
It's just freaking ridiculous at this point. But the fact that
Yeah.
you penalize, like they everyone was saying the whole week, and ESPN talking heads are like, oh, the conference championship shouldn't matter towards the playoff, and blah blah blah. But then in the same breath, they're saying that if BYU loses their conference championship, that they're going to be automatically out.
Right.
So you take BYU out. Technically, they weren't officially in the playoff going into the week, but obviously it solidified their spot as being out, even at 11-2, after they lost their conference championship. And then Alabama didn't even move a spot after
Yeah.
getting destroyed in their SEC championship game. So, just the bias we always talk about there. And then the big one dropping out is Notre Dame. So I guess I'll get your 2 cents on what you thought of that one, and if you think Miami was deserved to go in there over Notre Dame and some of those other teams.
Yeah, I really hate the Tulane and JMU thing. They got to fix that because we want a playoff. Like all the stuff I've been hearing, and I'm kind of gonna just regurgitate stuff that I've heard because I don't fully explain it, but I agree with a lot of the things people were saying. Having Tulane and JMU in the playoff, like that is not what we want because since it's only a 12-team playoff, you want the 12 best teams in the country, regardless of some stupid conference game that you won and you were highest ranked, this, that, or the other. They had to be in because of this. Just axe that. Get rid of that. Put the 12 best teams. I don't even care how you figured it out. 12 best teams. I believe Miami should have been in over Notre Dame just because I'm a huge head-to-head guy because it's just logic. It's like, okay, if you have two teams and you want to decide which one's better than the other, well, did they play each other? Yes. Who won the game? This team. That team's obviously better. People were trying to make the argument it was at the beginning of the season. It was still a regular season game. Like at the beginning of the season, it wasn't preseason like a exhibition freaking scrimmage or whatever. The game actually mattered. You played. I don't care if, one team got better as the season went on, another team kind of dropped off. You played each other. Miami won. They're, you know, that should count for something. And I'm glad that it did. Um, I would have liked to see Notre Dame over Alabama, kind of like what you were saying. But other than that, I think other than the Tulane James Madison thing, I think the playoffs fine. I think Indiana as the 1 seed has a tougher road than most of these other teams. If you look at it, I mean Alabama or Oklahoma, they have to play in the second round, opposed to like Ohio State's gonna slack Miami or Texas A&M. Georgia's gonna slack Ole Miss or Tulane. Like I don't know. I just feel like Indiana, even though they got the number 1 seed, they have the harder route with either playing Alabama or Oklahoma. But other than that, that's my 2 cents. Not much left to say after that.
Yeah. Um, the Miami Notre Dame conundrum, I basically agree. I think head to head, I'm a big head to head guy as well. And in the common opponents that they had, Miami did, even though it was like by a hair, they did do a little bit better at
Mm-hmm.
either blowing out teams or just like making it look more impressive. So, obviously, I'm always going to give the benefit to them, even though they had worse losses than Notre Dame. I mean, they lost to SMU and to Louisville, who are both unranked at the time that they played them.
Yeah.
And then like everybody like wants to just like, you know, jump on Notre Dame because they, didn't play anybody super good or whatever. And granted, the two biggest games that they had in Miami and Texas A&M, they lost, but they lost by combined 4 points and
Mm-hmm.
destroyed everybody else they played by like 40 points. So
Yeah.
I understand kind of where some people are arguing for Notre Dame because they did win 10 in a row and destroyed everybody, and like the two teams they did lose to are now sitting in the college football playoff. Um, and they lost by a combined 4 points. So I see the argument for them, but in my opinion, I would have taken Alabama out. I think
Yeah.
people aren't giving the attention to the Florida State loss as much as they should. Like they
Mm.
lost by 2 possessions to a Florida State team that ended up being like what 4-9 or something crazy.
Yeah.
So that was a really really bad loss. And then they lost to Oklahoma, and then they got destroyed by Georgia. And they kind of scraped by in a lot of the other games, like barely beat South Carolina, barely beat Auburn, beat Missouri by 3. So I just wasn't super impressed by Bama, but you've kind of come to expect them to try to put them into every single college football playoff at this point. So I
Yeah.
would have even argued Texas over Alabama. I think that
Right.
that was a little
Yeah.
bit more of an underrated argument than people were giving it credit for because they lost to number 4 Georgia 35-10. Granted, that wasn't close. And then they lost to Ohio State by a touchdown. And then obviously the Florida losses in there, but I would have given Texas a bit over Alabama. So,
Yeah.
just kind of ridiculous at this point. Like what's really going down. And yeah, the group of 5 thing is also ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, that's stupid.
but at the same time, like the way the rules are set up, like you don't expect an ACC to be just so chaotic and like their tiebreaker system being a mess and all that. So,
Yep. Yep.
um, ACC like that's kind of what you get when you have what freaking 16 teams in the ACC. Like they're all gonna like cannibalize each other, and it's just a mess, bro. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't love the way that the tail end of the college football played out, but the committee is just gonna do whatever they want, which is again a stupid way to do this whole thing, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I kind of thought BYU had a shout. Like their only loss all season was against Texas Tech, who's a top 4 team. So you're really going to penalize them for losing to a top 4 team.
I mean, yeah,
Uh,
but that was the only ranked team they played all year.
that's true. That's
So,
true. I guess if you're going strictly record, that would probably been the best one with the best losses. But neither here nor there. But yeah, it's kind of the rundown of the college football playoff. A lot of controversy going on, but I believe they got it right. And then obviously the Tulane and JMU edition is just how they had to do it because that's how it's set up. Hopefully they fix that in the coming years because we want the 12 best teams, not just teams in there because the rules say. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the college part of this podcast. We're gonna get into little football next.
alrighty, hopping over the pond for a little football talk. We're going to start out in England as we usually do with my Gunners having a big game at Aston Villa over the weekend. Unfortunately, falling with the last kick of this game, 2-1, with an Emi Buendia 95th minute winner. Pretty solid goal, nice little finish there. But unfortunately, the Gunners not able to come away with the victory. Pretty even match overall. Matty Cash getting an early 1-0 1-0 goal to open up the scoring. Trossard coming back with a goal on the 50th. And then, like I said, us losing with the last kick of the game. We're still dealing with a lot of injuries. Our back line is still suffering a lot with us having to start Hincapie and Timber and Calafiori at the back instead of our usual Gabriel and Saliba. Ben White was also starting at right back. A little bit weird that Ben White didn't start in the middle and Timber on the right, but
Mm.
it is what it is. We're still rocking with Mikel Marino at our striker position with Victor Gyökeres out. So a little bit of a struggle bus here. But did you watch this game? Did you see the 95th minute winner?
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch any Premier League the past couple weeks because Fubo is having their stupid like contract debates or negotiations with NBC right now. So Sunday Night Football and Premier League has been something that I have not been able to tap into the past couple of weeks. So I was not able to watch this game. I saw some of the highlights and stuff. So it was super unfortunate that you guys gave up a winner literally in the 95th minute. Sucks to suck, but you guys are still top of the table, right? Teams are closing though. Teams are
Yeah, still
closing
top of
quick.
the table, but at the end of that game, we had Villa in second, but they're now in third. They're 3 points behind us now.
Yep.
And Man City now with their dub sitting at 31 points, they're only 2 points behind us. So we've taken a 6-7 point gap to 3 in just a couple weeks here with all our injuries and stuff. This is why I can't get too excited as an Arsenal fan and be like, oh, we're gonna win the title when we have this gap because 2 weeks later, we're sitting right there with Man City after a nice 3-0 win against Sunderland, nipping at our heels, with plenty of championship left to play here for everyone involved. So, yeah, definitely it makes me a little bit nervous. Like I said last week, this is just where Pep Guardiola decides to not lose a game the rest of the year in the league, and just rattles off several wins in a row. And with our injury problems, like you think that like with how we've been set up, like as a team, and like the acquisitions we've made, that we kind of be insulated from
Mm-hmm.
some of these injuries. But like our injuries have been like literally at the spots where we can't afford to have guys go down. Like Saliba and Gabriel, like we've kind of like made the moves to like, okay, we can like survive without one, or like, we maybe lose both for like a couple games and then have them back. But now Saliba's not going to play till like the new year. Gabriel might be out till February, so like
Oof.
we're in big trouble. And Hincapié is good; he's on loan from Bayer, he's solid, but like we're having to start like Mosquera, and then like Timbers like out of position and yada yada. So
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta string some wins here together. I'm hoping, but Leeds also play Liverpool to a 3-3 draw. Liverpool just kind of continuing their struggle in the league,
Yeah,
sitting
not
really at
good.
mid-table right now. They've kind of replaced Man U as the
Yeah.
the struggling team we make fun of here. Man U's sitting pretty nice at in sixth place right now, just a couple spots behind the Champions League contenders there. Manchester United with a nice 4-1 victory, I believe, on Monday or Tuesday. So nice to see them back up with the big boys, kind of challenging for Europe there, with
Absolutely.
Ruben Amorim leading the boys over there. Moving over to Serie A, a couple of games we'll touch on here. Pulisic getting a double against Torino,
Yes, sir.
in a really solid win by AC Milan, who are now sitting at the very top of the Serie A table. What do you got to say about our American boy? Doing some good things over there in Italy.
I mean, just keep this form up like us. I mean, we're months away from the World Cup. As long as he can bring this into the World Cup, we'll be sitting pretty. This is exactly what he needed to do after taking that time off from the national team, kind of saying he needed to rest. He's been fairly healthy this season, obviously dealing with some injuries. Came off the bench in this one because I believe he was dealing with like a sickness or something like that. Saw him post
Dang.
something and he was just like, my flu game or whatever, kind of, alluding to Jordan or
Oh
whatever.
my word.
But dude, he comes in, ties it, wins it. I mean, that's what you want out of your main guy, and he's become one of the staples for AC Milan. Uh, he has not signed a contract extension yet. I would love to see him come back to the Prem, even though I don't think that would be good for him. But he obviously you want to play Champions League, so he's waiting to see if AC Milan actually makes the Champions League. If they do, I could see him signing a pretty hefty long term contract there. But good for Pulisic, good for AC Milan to be top of the table.
Yeah, tied at the top of the table with the likes of Napoli right now, who got a big win against Juventus 2-1 at the weekend as well. A couple goals by Rasmus Højlund. So he's able to get out of Manchester United and do some good things over in Italy, very similar to his Napoli teammate Scott McTominay, who continues to be a very, very solid piece in that midfield, to a very, very good Napoli side, who's again challenging for the Serie A title. Rounding out the last couple spots there, Inter in third, Roma in fourth, and then Juventus in fifth as well.
The
So,
usual suspects.
solid stuff in Italy. Love to see that title race
Yeah.
coming down to it with those 4 or 5 teams there, trying to all fight for that Scudetto as you used to see. So love to see that. Moving over to the Champions League now. I'm going to start out with your Blues, falling once again to a team you probably shouldn't be falling to,
Exactly.
Atalanta. Solid team, but as of your form recently, you'd expect to win that game.
Yeah, you would expect to win it. I always say Atlanta because I'm freaking so American. Atalanta has been struggling this season. They've already been through two managers over the course of this season, so really no continuity going on. Not doing well in the league either. Like you said, we should be winning this game, but dude, it like the past like month has been this microcosm of what Chelsea is. Literally beat Barcelona in the Champions League pretty convincingly as well. I think we literally turned around and lost to Leeds in the league right after that, and obviously dropping games. Uh, lost at Atalanta and then played Bournemouth to a 0-0 draw. Like, sure, clean sheet, but we couldn't score against Bournemouth either. So that's just Chelsea, man. It's just so frustrating. I don't think it's going to change until we really need to find some like older player that has leadership qualities that can really come in and like push some of these young guys to.
Oh, like Thiago Silva.
Yeah, like Thiago Silva, who literally had a fantastic Club World Cup that obviously we won, but like, I don't know, it'd been nice if we just like paid him a little bit of money to like stick around and like bring up some of these young guys. But we were like, nah, we're gonna sell you, and we're just gonna bring in some young people, and that, yeah, it's
Hey
just.
man, he's only 41. Just get him back.
He's only 41. I mean, Philip Rivers is freaking 44, and he's going to be balling out in the NFL soon. So, contact sport too, whatever. Yeah, but like you said, game we shouldn't be losing, but we obviously did. So unfortunate, but here we are.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all are still in the thick of it though.
We
Like
are.
I always say, like there's the margin for error in the Champions League now is so huge with like 24 of the 36 teams getting to the next round. But the next game we'll touch on is Inter Milan and Liverpool. I texted you about halfway through this game saying just an absolute end-to-end incredible game.
Yeah.
Liverpool getting the dub on this one, 1-0. It's very obvious Slot is trying to figure out some things with the big skid that Liverpool have been on the first half of the season here. Vert's coming off the bench. Their two strikers that they spent like 300 million together on starting together here with Ekitike on the left wing and Isak in the middle. And
Yeah.
then Gravenberch and McAllister and Soboslai in the middle instead of Wirtz. That seemed to be working a lot better for them and obviously getting the dub. Wirtz coming on later in the second half was a nice spark off the bench. So must be nice to have a 150 million euro player coming off the bench for you. But
Yeah.
really good win by Liverpool here. And Milan didn't play bad at all, just couldn't find the back of the net, unfortunately. And a lot of the chances of their own, but couldn't make them pay, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, it took Liverpool getting, in my opinion, an iffy PK. Like,
Yeah.
sure, he had his jersey, but like he wasn't tugging on it, and he embellished it for
So
sure.
late, too. Like,
It
come
was
on,
late.
bro.
Like, you don't want to see a game decided like that. But obviously, when you go to VAR and it's like, yeah, you see the shirt tug, so it's like you got to give the penalty. Like, if you're going letter of the law and you get to slow it down and see it in slow motion and look at it like 3 or 4 times, it's like, well, yeah, I gotta give it now. I really would have liked them to just go with the call on the field, don't give anything, and just let the game play out. But obviously Liverpool will take it, and that's a big time win in the Champions League for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Good. I guess it's not good. Obviously, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but from their perspective, it's going to be good
Sam.
for them to get back in get back to winning ways, at least in the Champions League. They're sitting pretty good. They're in eighth place right now in the Champions League, so that would get them a bye to the round of 16 if it were to end today. So doing a little bit better in the Champions League than they are in the Prem, but we'll see how that is going forward. Next game we'll touch on Madrid Man City, another barn burner, bro.
Yes,
Absolutely loved
sir.
watching this game. Uh, Two teams that obviously are some of the biggest in the world. Madrid coming in a little bit of on the struggle bus, just because of some of their league results and everything. Man City flying high, like I said, creeping up on Arsenal there in the league, and Man City get the dub 2-1. Rodrigo getting on the score sheet for the first time in 32 games.
Dang.
So a huge drought for him that he broke. Thankfully, he's able to get back into form, but Erling Haaland getting a penalty really close to halftime. Well, yeah, whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then Nico O'Reilly, left back.
Balling.
Yeah, I don't. He's super young dude. I think, excuse me, he's like 19. So he's on the score sheet. He looks like what's the other dude they have? Rico Lewis.
Yeah.
Like they're all like they have these like afros now. Like
Yeah,
every
same
teenage, I
exact
was like, what are
haircut.
they doing? Yeah.
No
So
originality. Everybody's got the same haircut. Everyone's doing the same thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Man City had more of the ball. Madrid had more of the chances, but ultimately Man City prevail on this one.
Yeah, Mbappe was hurt or
It
wasn't fully
was.
fit, so he did not make an appearance. Endrick had like a late chance. Like Madrid had late chances to put it away. Just were very unlucky not being in the right spots. A couple of the headers were going a little wide or a little too high. So, but they definitely had the chances. I mean, they're not gonna sack Xabi Alonso, but like He is on the
No, but
hot.
there's a lot of talk.
He is
You know
on
how
a.
high the standards are.
Yeah, he is on the hot seat. I think they've only won 2 out of their last 8 in all competitions. So with a record like that, not looking good. Obviously they're still in the La Liga title race, so like that's not changing anytime soon. But obviously, when you're at Real Madrid, the standard is winning a Champions League, regardless of the players or how good you think you are. I mean, we've seen them pull a Champions League out of a hat, in a few seasons with teams that we thought weren't very good. So when it comes to Real Madrid, the standard is winning that competition, and if you're not doing it,
Yeah.
there's problems.
Yeah, I was really confused by Danny Ceballos starting this game. Any game you see Danny Ceballos starting, you know that you're going to be in trouble. Like I have not seen a slower player than Danny Ceballos
Yeah,
on a football pitch. Like it's
that's tough.
painful to watch him play. Like you
Right.
can play him against like the Espanols and stuff like that's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But any big game you need, like you don't want to see him on the starting sheet. I was a little bit confused why Arda Güler didn't start, just because that's basically the same position.
Mm-hmm.
You can put Bellingham as more of a CDM or even Chouameni and push Goulet farther up the field. So I'm really confused as to why he didn't do that, unless he was just trying to go super defensive from the start. But
Maybe
whatever. But yeah, not having Mbappe definitely hurt Madrid in
that
this
hurts.
game. Last game we'll touch on Arsenal Club Bruges 3-0.
Your
Not much to say
boys.
about this one. My boys continue to roll. We have had a very favorable schedule in the Champions League outside of like Bayern, but we still were able to win that one. We've kind of beaten a lot of the bottom dwellers in the Champions League, so definitely feasting on a little bit of a better schedule here. Noni Madueke has a couple really nice goals, especially the first one, and then Martinelli with another banger as well to put us right in the hunt there. Club Brugge had a decent amount of chances, but ultimately we were able to get a pretty comfortable win with a couple of our guys coming back and a couple guys that are still coming. We had to start Christian Norgard as one of our center backs. So
Uh-oh.
that was a little bit rough.
Yeah, that's tough.
But against a team like Bruges, we can kind of throw it into neutral after the first half and kind of coast. So
Yeah. Is he the guy you got from Brentford?
yeah,
Norgard?
yep,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
He's good in the middle, but definitely not someone you want to see running around as a center back. Like, definitely out of position
Yeah.
there.
And he's older too, so he's definitely a depth piece.
Doesn't
He's
have the
not a guy you
wheels.
want to be
Yeah.
starting in the Champions League per se, but he'll get the job done against a Bruges team. So
Yeah. But I've said it so many times on this podcast, but those acquisitions in the offseason for you are the reason you're staying afloat right now. Like past
yeah,
seasons, you guys would be dropping points left and right, but
right.
like,
I
holding
agree.
on to the top of the Premier League, and I think you're top of the Champions League still too, right?
Yep. Yeah, doing just enough to squeak it out. We just need some guys to come back. So
Yeah.
Gyökeres made an appearance. He started this game, so
Okay.
hopefully he'll be
Good.
back up and running in the Prem here soon.
Yeah, he was finding some things before he went down. So, but good for your Gunners, not good for my Blues. But that's gonna do it, Sammy. I think that's a pod.
That is a pod.
We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I always say every week, please check us out on all of our platforms. Rate us and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Like and subscribe here on YouTube if you are watching. We would appreciate that. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Aight. Peace.